Greetings and welcome back to our channel. The last several months have been kind of crazy here in our area, in the United States, and even in the whole world, and I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about with the virus situation and now with riots and things like that. Recently, a good friend of mine, Jim Buller, posted a picture that his wife Becky took when they were driving through, I believe it was Sacramento, on the way back from a talk that they had given in a different area of California. And they had to drive through the area where the riots were taking place, and the Lord protected them and gave them safe passage through. But there were people in that crowd of rioters who were throwing bricks and things over the overpass down at the cars. And what would have happened if for some reason their vehicle would have been disabled and they would have had to have abandoned their car and just walked home? What would happen if you were stranded in some kind of traffic jam and for some reason were not able to get home in your vehicle? Would you be prepared? Are you prepared just for the simple things that you run into day by day? What I want to talk to you about in this video is what I call EDC and critical thinking. There's certain things that I think most of us need to carry every day. That's what EDC means. That's what that stands for, is everyday carry. Among those who are in the prepper community, and I don't consider myself a prepper, I consider myself one who believes the Bible, and the Bible teaches preparation and critical thinking. And that's what I want to talk about. There are things that I believe, especially, even more so, at this time in Earth's history, we need to be accustomed to carrying with us on our person, in our vehicle, every day. We just never know now what kind of situation we're going to face. One of the most common things that I'm talking about is simply a pocket knife. I carry this everywhere. It even goes to church with me. And you know, no disparaging to my brethren, but there have been many times when I've been in a situation where somebody needed a pocket knife and the guys didn't have one, and I had it. I was able to provide it for the need at hand. So ladies, even you know, my husband got this for me. It's a Boker. It's small. It fits in my hand. I have problems with my hands. I've had some hand surgeries for trigger finger and carpal tunnel. It's a clip knife, so it's easy to, you know, keep in your pocket or on your skirt belt, or sometimes I tuck it under the arm of my jumper and it stays nicely, and it's actually not really visible there. It has the spring assist open. It opens quickly. It's easy to keep sharp, and for quick sharpening I was able to pick up this steel sharpener that you can sharpen loppers and scissors and knives and everything. I think these are only like 12 bucks. So if you're not an expert at sharpening, you can get one of these. And there's even smaller sharpeners, and I'll show you when I open up my bag here in just a minute, that you can purchase. But I believe everyone needs to have a knife on them all the time. At the very least, a knife. Now, there's different circumstances, and you know, different people teach different things on this and have different philosophies. One of the things that I try always to do if I'm going for a hike in the woods is to take my little day pack. And I like this because it's got a wide strap. I can wear it around my waist, I can throw it around my shoulder, I can carry it as a purse. And it's just, you know, it's comfortable to have a wider strap. So if you're going to have something like this, I highly recommend looking for a strap. But I have just a few things in here, and every time that I have gone out hiking with other people, most of the time it's somebody else who needs something that I have in this bag. And what do I have in here? I do, this might be a little bit redundant, and I may not necessarily need this. I have a little pocket boy saw that I carry. I have a fixed blade. This happens to be a Baco. I also like the Mora, but this thing is razor sharp. It's kind of a lightweight, light-duty knife. Razor sharp, stainless steel. I wouldn't be afraid to be caught in the woods for weeks or more with a knife like this because it's durable and it works. I have a water purification. I use the Sawyer Mini water filter, and yes, I have used it. It's not in the original packaging. I have various fire starting tools. I have a little kit that I made for fire starting, and I can show you what's in here in just a minute. But that's a little kit, and there's a lot of redundancy in here for starting fire. That's how important it is. I have a little bit of cordage that I just kind of wound up so it'd be easier to keep in my bag. And I have a thick, heavy meal contractor bag. You can see it here. That I can, there's so many things you can do with that. I mean, you can use it as a rain poncho. You can fill it with leaves and use it as a blanket or a bed, or, you know, a tent or tarp under you or what have you. I made, and this is another thing, we need to be gathering skills for this time. I believe that, you know, and here's why I don't call myself a prepper. Preppers believe things are going to get bad, but they're going to get better. I don't believe that. I believe we are in the end of the world as we know it, that Bible prophecy is being fulfilled, and very soon we're going to face the final scenes prophesied in the Bible. Indeed, we're in those final scenes. But I'm gathering skills, and one of the skills that I'm gathering is making tinctures and medicines. And this is what I call it Intoxitic. A friend of mine, or someone gave me some old whiskey. It was like 40 years old because they knew I was making tinctures. Well, I wasn't going to make tinctures out of that. So what I did was I put this bottle, about a third full of that nasty whiskey. Well, actually, I made it in a bigger bottle, but I put the bigger bottle, about a third full of the whiskey. I used it all to make a container, and then the rest with, most of the rest with distilled water. And then I put a mixture of essential oils that are good to fight ticks, like cedarwood, lavender, peppermint, tea tree. I mixed all of these in, and that's why I call it Intoxitic, and I'll tell you, it really works. And I have a little spray bottle of that in here. Of course, that's not going to last long, but just on a day hike, it's nice to have. Just this past week, just this week, in fact, I was hiking with some people, and the young lady did not have on sufficient socks. Socks are important. Good socks. Not ankle socks. Good socks. And she got a blister on her heel, and this is a very cushy foam tape that I wore on my thumb when I broke my thumb. It just gave just enough support, but I was able to take off a piece of this and put it on her blister, and that was sufficient. So, and then I have a few other little comfort items like chapstick and some just in case toilet paper. But that's pretty much it, what I have in here. Let me let you look at my fire kit. I'll show you what I have in here. Again, you have to have skills to use these things. Do you know how to use flint and steel? Do you know how to use a ferro rod? Do you know what those things are? This is a ferro rod. This is called the Strike Force. And I'm not going to go into how to start fire on this video, but basically this is just, you know, what kinds of things that I keep with me. This thing really snaps together firmly. But anyway, the Strike Force is, you know, really nice compact ferro rod, and in one end of it, in this end, this pops off and there's a little bit of tinder in there for fire starting. Do you know what tinder is? These are things that you need to be educating yourself on. One of the simplest ways, if it's sunny like today, to start a fire is just with a magnifying glass. And these are cheap. They're credit card size, and you can easily slip this in your billfold, in your wallet, in your purse. Keep one in your car, and I have one in here. It weighs almost nothing, and it's a very, very effective way to start a fire. In the event that you get stuck in the woods, you know, go out hiking and get lost. Our neighbors just up the hill here, their daughter was in the woods for several days, I think. And it got down freezing, below freezing at night. It would have been much easier for her had she had capacity to start a fire. And of course, don't discount the lighter. And I also have some matches and a flint and steel in here. So there's lots of different ways that you can start fire. I like to keep it all together because, you know, sometimes when I go out hiking, I have opportunity to help people learn how to do things. Another thing that I think is essential, and these are things also that I really think that we need to be looking at purchasing. You know, if you don't have good gloves, I have some that are leather. I have some that are these. I'm not sure what they're made out of, but anyway, they're kind of like plastic here. And when you're working in wet stuff, it's really nice to keep your hands dry and warm. So a good pair of gloves, a good pair of boots. I absolutely love my Bellavilles. They're lightweight, they're almost athletic, they have Vibram soles. I have put a lot of miles on these things, and I intend to put a lot more miles on them. They are waterproof. They have a little bit of insulation, so they are a little bit warm in the summer. But just an excellent boot. And so, you know, ask yourself the question, do I have durable clothing? Do I have what I need if I had to flee to the wilderness? If my car was stranded and crowds were threatening to surround me, do I have what I need to grab and go so I can get home? Do I know how to get home? Do I know how to navigate? This is another bag that I have, and I'm not going to break it down and show you everything in it, but this is my grab and go bag. It does not weigh that much. It probably weighs about 12 or 13 pounds, which is really more than I'd like it to weigh. And I need to go through, there are some things that are redundant in here that don't need to be, that I can take out. But I have all of the essentials. I have knives. I have a fixed blade and a folding knife. I have a saw in here. I have a tarp. I have a lightweight blanket in there. I have a Sawyer water bottle for water filtration. And I have a little bit of food. I have these Laura bars. I don't know if you know what Laura bars are. Some of you may not, but they're very healthy. They have only natural ingredients. I think this is dates, almonds, cashews, and lemon juice concentrate, and lemon oil. So that's it, you know, and that would keep you going for a while. Of course, food is not your #1 priority. I also have a little bit of cordage in here, which is also important. But if you don't know, Jim Buller, we did some videos with him, and he has some really good videos that we did at our camp meeting when he came, and he also has his own channel. His ministry is called Preparing to Stand. I highly recommend it. I recommend his book. If you don't have it, you have to email him. I don't think he has it in hard copy yet. I think it's only in digital format. But he has some really good stuff in there. He goes through and shows the prophecies and how God has warned us that we need to prepare for these things. We need to think differently today. We can't think like we always have. It's not status quo. It's not life as usual. It's different now. And we need to be thinking toward day by day, moment by moment preparation. I keep this bag in my car at all times. Well, I have it out right now because a mouse got in my trunk and I didn't want him to get in my bag. But we've eliminated that problem, so I can put it back in there. But I have my day pack that goes with me anytime I go in the woods. I always carry a little bit of water or water filtration. And then in my car, I carry my get-home bag. And I would not be afraid with this bag right here to leave home and never come back. There's in here sufficient. The only thing that I might, and I do keep this in my trunk, I have a wool blanket. And again, I said that the mouse got in my trunk and he did chew a hole in the corner of this. I had it wrapped up nice and tight in a bag. I probably would grab this along with my bag if I had to leave, even if it was the summer. You can die of hypothermia in 60-degree weather. So anyway, the point of this video is just to encourage you to begin to think differently. What tools do I have on me right now? Do I have on me right now, with me, within easy access, what I would need to make it home, to make it out of the woods, to make it out of the city? And by the way, I hope you're realizing that the cities is where a lot of the madness in this world is happening right now. So if you're still living in the city, I encourage you to prayerfully consider getting out. And if you're prayerfully considering that already, I know that God is hearing and answering prayers. And sometimes we have to walk through some doors that are pretty scary before God will open them. So I just want to encourage you, if you don't have these items, begin gathering them with haste. Begin accustoming yourself to carrying a knife, carrying some form of fire starting. Learn how to sharpen your knife. Gather these simple skills. Learn how to make your own medicine, your own soaps, and these kind of things. I guess that's pretty much what I wanted to say. The only other thing I'd point out is, you know, as a woman, it looks a little bit intimidating for a man to walk up and I'm wearing this knife around my waist. I've had a lot of guys give a double take. Now, I don't wear it out in public, but when I go out in the woods, I have it, you know, and it's not for self-defense, but I'll tell you, I did a preview on this knife. This is a PTS knife made by Christopher Fisher, designed by Christopher and Jim Buller. Especially for someone with hand issues and without real good hand strength, this is a game changer. If you don't have one of these, I encourage you to consider it. The PTS knife, again, I have a review on that. You can go look at that on our YouTube channel. At any rate, that's what I wanted to share, and I just want to encourage you to. So my video card ran out of space unexpectedly, but basically that's all I wanted to share, is start thinking critically, start getting comfortable being uncomfortable, get out in the woods, learn wild edibles. Here's one here most people may not know. This is false Solomon seal. It has edible and medicinal uses. You know it's the false Solomon seal because it has the flower blooms on the end. True Solomon seal has little flowers along the stem on the underside. And those little berries that it gets before they flower or after they flower are poisonous. At any rate, we need to think differently. We need to realize that Jesus is coming soon. And we not only have a spiritual preparation to make, we have a lot of physical preparation to make. I just want to encourage you to do that.